Hello everyone. Till now we have done up to 6.2 and today we are going to start the next topic 6.3, theory of electrolytic dissociation. So my dear, it is very important to understand the theory of electrolytic dissociation in order to understand the electrolysis. So let's start with this one. So next topic is electrolytic dissociation theory we are going to do. Children, in 1887, Svante Arrhenius was the scientist who gave the theory of electrolytic dissociation. I will make you understand with the help of this electrolytic cell, which we have done in the previous lecture, okay, how he explained the theory of electrolytic dissociation. Let's start with the first point. In his first point, he said that when electrolyte dissolve in water, I have electrolyte and I will dissolve it into the water. When I will dissolve this into the water, he said it contained positive and negative ion. What means you want to say when electrolyte dissolve in water, it get ionized in positive radical and negative radical. Positive ion called cation and negative ion is called anion. And he is saying due to this only the current will pass through the electrolyte. I think it is clear to you. He is saying only when electrolyte dissolve in water, then only it is possible to pass the current through the electrolyte in case of electrolytic cell. In point number 2, children, see, he is saying this ion, when electrolyte ionize, it contain negative and positive ion, and these ions are responsible for the flow of current. The point number 2 is saying these ions in the solution are responsible for the flow of current. Means to say he want to say that only, okay, in the solution the current will flow due to the ions, but in the outer circuit, as you can see, I have mentioned the electron is following, and due to the flow of electron, current is following in the outer circuit. I think it is clear to you कि outside में जो है current flow कर रहा है due to the motion of electron, and in the solution the current is following due to the positive negative radical. Point number 3, concentration of, in point number 3 he is saying the concentration of ion in the solution, जो मात्रा होगी ions की in the solution, is responsive for the conductivity of the solution. Okay, how much conducting an electrolyte is there, it depends upon the concentration of ion. Then in 4th point he is saying the total positive charge in the solution is equal to total negative charge in the solution. Means solution is in electrolytic equilibrium, मतलब ना ही पॉजिटिव होगा ना ही ए इक्विलिब्रियम में होगा, इलेक्ट्रोलाइटिक इक्विलिब्रियम, and that position is known as the electrolytic equilibrium. In the 5th point, in non-electrolyte, if we have taken the in place of electrolyte non-electrolyte, he is saying no ionization will take place and there will be only molecules. If we will take in the solution dissolve non-electrolyte in the solution, what will happen? No ionization will take place and only molecules will be there. Now dear children, 6th point is very important. He is talking about the degree of dissociation. What do you mean by the degree of dissociation? Degree of dissociation is the extent to which electrolyte break into the ion. The extent to which, if हमने कोई electrolyte dissolve किया water में, and if out of 100 molecules suppose 40 molecule dissociate, this is the degree of dissociation. So extent to which an electrolyte break into ions is called degree of dissociation. My dear student, I think it is clear to you the theory of electrolytic dissociation. We have done 6 points. And now the modern concept we will understand. So 2 theories are there, Arrhenius theory and modern theory. So in exam, what will come? Exam point of view is, it is examiner favorite question. They will ask differentiate between modern theory and Arrhenius theory of electrolytic dissociation. तो मैं एक basic difference बता दूँ. What is the basic difference between these two? What they are saying in the modern concept, they are saying electrolyte are ionic even in the solid state, and due to electrostatic forces ions are immobile, and water render these ion mobility by breaking the electrostatic force. What is saying, इज सेइंग कि इलेक्ट्रोलाइट आर आयनिक इवन द सॉलिड स्टेट। ये बोल रहा है कि इलेक्ट्रोलाइट आयनिक है, सॉलिड स्टेट में भी आयनिक है। लेकिन वहाँ पे इसने क्या बोला था, अरेनियस ने बोला था एक इलेक्ट्रोलाइट को जब डिसॉल्व करोगे वाटर में देन इट गेट आयोनाइज्ड। मतलब वो ये बोलना चाहता था सॉलिड स्टेट में वो आयनिक नहीं होता। बट व्हाट मॉडर्न कॉन्सेप्ट इज सेइंग, कहता है इलेक्ट्रोलाइट बेशक सॉलिड स्टेट में हो, इट विल बी आयनिक इन नेचर। बस पानी क्या करता है, व्हाट water is going to do, water renders the ion mobility of the water renders their ion mobility by breaking the electrostatic forces। अब दोनों में डिफरेंस हो गया। उसने बोला वाटर जो है, इसने क्या बोला था अरेनियस ने, ही इज सेइंग कि वाटर make the electrolyte ionic, but here he is saying modern concept कि electrolyte is already ionic in nature, and what water is doing, water is just helping to overcome the electrolytic forces and make the ion mobiles. So this is the basic difference between Arrhenius and the modern concept. So in exam what will come, in exam what they are going to ask, differentiate between Arrhenius and modern concept of theory of electrolytic dissociation. So dear children, question related to this one you solve from the exercises. Our next topic is characteristic of electrolysis. What we are going to do next, topic 6.5, characteristic of electrolysis, and the 6.4, conduction in the compound, is very easy for you. And here it is explained that conduction has become possible due to the ionization of the electrolyte. So it is easy for you. So I'm going with the 6.5 now. Characteristic of electrolysis. Point to point I will explain. See, the passage of electricity through an electrolyte cause the positive ion cation to migrate towards the cathode and negative ion anion towards the anode. What he is saying in the characteristic, he is saying when we pass electricity through the electrolyte, what will happen, it dissociate into positive negative ion, it contain negative and positive ion. Then positive ion will move towards the cathode and negative ion will move towards the anode. Why it happens so, dear children? See, cation carry positive charge and cathode carry negative charge, so opposite charge attract each other. That's why cation will move towards the cathode. That's why cation will move towards the cathode, and anion carry negative charge and anode is having the positive charge, so opposite charge attract each other, so anion will move towards the anode. I think point number 1 is clear to you. Take the point number 2. The number of electron gained by an anode is equal to the number of electron given by the cathode. What is going on now, as soon as these cation will reach towards the cathode and anode, what will happen, कैटायन विल एक्सेप्ट द इलेक्ट्रॉन एंड बिकम डिस्चार्ज। होगा क्या बच्चों, जो कैटायन और एनायन है सॉल्यूशन में, वो स्टेबल होने की कोशिश करेंगे। जैसे ही कैटायन रीच करेगा किसके ऊपर, एट कैथोड, व्हाट विल हैपन, बिकॉज कैटायन कैरी पॉजिटिव चार्ज, तो इट विल गेन इलेक्ट्रॉन and get discharge over the electrode. In a similar manner, anion, as soon as it reach on the anode, what will happen, it will lose electron and become neutral. So in this process you can easily understand electron are gained at the cathode, so reduction take place, gain of electron is called reduction, and anion lose electron, and this process take place at the surface of anode. So what will happen at anode, oxidation will take place at anode. So I think it is clear to you. Or reaching, they will get discharged and will lose or gain the electron. Accordingly, reduction will take place at the cathode and oxidation will take place at the anode. So but the number of electron lose at the anode and gained at the electron will be equal. बस थर्ड पॉइंट में ये, सेकंड पॉइंट में ये बोलना चाहता है जितने इलेक्ट्रॉन एनोड के ऊपर रिलीज होंगे उतने ही इलेक्ट्रॉन एंटर होंगे कैथोड के थ्रू. क्लियर टू यू. ये भी बोल सकते हो आप कि इलेक्ट्रॉन एंटर थ्रू कैथोड एंड लीव थ्रू द एनोड. सी थर्ड पॉइंट, द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोलिसिस आर फॉर्म्ड एट द एनोड एंड कैथोड. आपसे ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है, एग्जामिनर फेवरेट क्वेश्चन है. वो पूछेंगे हमेशा जो प्रोडक्ट है वाई इट लिबरेटेड एट द कैथोड एंड एनोड सरफेस ओनली. दे आर सेइंग electrolysis are formed at the anode and cathode. What you will answer? Since the exchange of electron take place only at the surface of electrode, that's why product is formed at the cathode and the एनोड. इसीलिए जो प्रोडक्ट है हमेशा या तो कैथोड पे बनता है या एनोड पे. रीज़न क्या है? क्योंकि जो इलेक्ट्रॉन का एक्सचेंज होता है वो इलेक्ट्रोड के सरफेस पे होता है, इसीलिए जो प्रोडक्ट जो फॉर्म होता है वो या तो एनोड पे होता है या फिर कैथोड पे. पॉइंट नंबर 4, ओनली हाइड्रोजन गैस एंड मेटल आर लिबरेटेड एट कैथोड. व्हाट दे आर सेइंग कि रिडक्शन किसका होता है बच्चों? आपको याद होगा मेटल अंडरगो रिडक्शन as well as hydrogen. तो इसीलिए liberate metals will liberate at cathode and non metals, आपको पता ऑक्सीजन ऑक्सीडेशन होता है नॉन मेटल का, so non metal will liberate at anode. Point number 5 is clear to you now. This is about the non metal. Now the 6th one, the mass of the substance produced at the electrode during electrolysis is proportional to the quantity of electricity passed through the electrolyte, and this is known as the Faraday's law of electrolysis. सबसे important point है ये. In this what is saying, जितनी ज़्यादा इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इसमें से पास करेंगे उतना ही ज़्यादा मास यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रोड पे क्या होगा? लिबरेट होगा. एंड दिस इज द लॉ ऑफ electrolysis. So this is very important. We will be asked in the form define Faraday's law of electrolysis. So what you can write, the mass of substance produced at electrode, the mass of substance produced at electrode is directly proportional to amount of electricity passed through the solution. Next point, 7th, he is saying the process of electrolysis is a redox reaction. When electrolysis take place, is it a redox reaction or not? They will ask you question. It is very simple, my dear. You can see now reduction take place at cathode and oxidation take place at anode. Both the process take place simultaneously and in the same vessel. So the process of electrolysis is a redox reaction. I think it is clear to you. Point number 8, this portion I will explain in the next topic. The alternating current does not cause any chemical change on passing through the electrolyte. They therefore does not help the electrolysis to occur. Electrolysis is caused by direct current. What they are saying, okay, during the process of electrolysis we cannot use the alternating current, because when we pass the alternating current no change will be there in the electrolyte. But when we will use the direct current, then only electrolysis will take place. So they will ask you question, okay, AC current or DC current, out of which one we use during the electrolysis. I think it is clear to you the characteristic of electrolysis.